Now, Yemen's warring sides have failed to agree an extension for a nationwide ceasefire. Both sides blame each other, allowing the truce to expire. The United Nations wants the talks to continue. The ceasefire has been the longest in the 8-year war. Hundreds of thousands of people have died in the conflict, and the UN says the war has caused the world's worst humanitarian crisis. You're watching Arise News Hour. Still ahead, we're live in the US as opening arguments begin in the sedition trial of 5 members of the far-right Oath Keepers militia.
As you adjust to the new realities for operating your business and engaging with your customers, let us help you transform your business into a digital powerhouse capable of adapting and taking advantage of today's opportunities. With our best-in-class array of digital solutions, you can conduct your business, receive payments from your customers, and perform transactions quickly, safely, and conveniently, because we've got you covered with the right people, technology, and service offerings. Contact us today and let us take your business to its zenith. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
We started our journey over 7 years ago, connecting travelers to their favorite destinations. Since then, we've revolutionized how we want our passengers to feel while flying. That is why we've introduced our brand new Embraer 195-E2 aircraft.
Everyone has a face they need to see.
We are on a mission to add new destinations to our ever-increasing fleet. Our Boeing 777 will take you on an international journey. Mumbai, Guangzhou, London, Johannesburg. And now, Airpeace is adding a new destination, Dubai.
If you're gonna fly, then you should fly with us on Airpeace.
Airpeace flies you from all our domestic routes to Dubai from Lagos at no additional cost.
On Airpeace.
Welcome back. You're watching the Arise News Hour from Abuja. At least 7 people have died from cholera in Haiti. They're the first cholera-related deaths for 3 years. It's happening as the country faces crippling gang violence. There are shortages of fuel and clean water, and hospitals are struggling to function. Well, let's take you to another part of the Americas, the United States, where opening arguments have begun in the sedition trial of 5 members of the far-right Oath Keepers militia, including its founder. They are all alleged to have joined the 2021 attack on the Capitol in Washington. Stuart Rhodes, the eye patch-wearing former soldier who plotted a military-style assault on the Capitol, and his followers are charged with taking up arms against the United States to keep Donald Trump in the White House despite his election defeat. Well, for more on that trial, let's cross live to Washington, where Arise US correspondent Eric Ham joins us now. Good to see you, Eric. So the trial of members of that militia group known as the Oath Keepers now underway in Washington. Prosecutors saying they formed an armed rebellion to disrupt the peaceful transfer of power in the US. Bring us the details.
Yeah, that's right, Charles. In fact, today, opening arguments have already been underway with the trial starting this morning. The jury has been set for this case. And we are being told, even from the Department of Justice, that this is to date the most consequential case regarding the January 6th insurrection that the Department of Justice has prosecuted. Already, we know more than 900 people have been found guilty or pled guilty to various crimes relating to that day. But this is the first trial that we will see of sedition against individuals who attempted to overthrow the government. Now, the Department of Justice is claiming that these individuals provoked and orchestrated and organized an armed insurrection of the U.S. government at the U.S. Capitol on that day. However, what we are hearing from these 5 defendants is that they were not involved in any insurrection and that they were there simply for the purpose of doing what President Trump told them to do, which was to show up on that day for the rally that he organized, and they were there simply for that. Now, we already know from the January 6th insurrection hearings taking place on Capitol Hill that these individuals brought weapons that they had stored at various hotels across the Washington area, preparing for a violent insurrection if, in fact, it occurred. In addition to that, we saw members of Congress actually lay out what they thought was a detailed plan of how these individuals orchestrated the violence that took place on that day. And so now this trial gets underway. It's expected to last anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks. And of course, many will be watching to see what the verdict will be. And while Donald Trump himself will not be on trial, many are watching this as a prelude to what the Department of Justice will do going forward, as many of these cases are also underway. And finally, Charles, I'll add, while these oath keepers are on trial right now, there have already been members of the Oath Keepers that have already been convicted of seditious acts that took place on that day as well.
Right. And Eric, you mentioned Donald Trump there. I mean, I wonder how much his figure is likely to loom over this trial. I mean, is he likely to be a central figure?
Well, that's a really good question, Charles, because we do know that one of the individuals that is on trial, we know that there was some contact or attempts to contact the White House, specifically the president. And we are told that there was someone who actually was a member of the inner circle of the Oath Keepers who was in constant contact with the White House leading up to January 6th. Now, it's also important to note that these individuals are saying that they were simply there to provide security for some high profile individuals, including Roger Stone, as well as other individuals who were there with and supporting Donald Trump's efforts to overturn the election. And so they are saying that they had no role in this, but we are now being told that there were anonymous sources who have provided the Department of Justice and the FBI with detailed information of how these individuals were working very closely with people in the Trump orbit to actually attempt, even if violently, to overturn the election. And so, of course, there will be much information that will come out in this in this trial over the next weeks till we get to a verdict.
Eric, thanks very much indeed. Eric Ham, Arise US correspondent, talking to me there from Washington.